Steve.
Okay, there he is.
Hello.
Hey, Dr. Ken Berry, how are you?
Man, I'm great. How's it going?
It's great. It's great. It's good to have you. My lighting is terrible.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you a trick. Are you on your phone right now?
Yeah.
Okay, touch the screen right where your nose is. There you go.
Wow.
How's that? You're welcome.
How about that? I saw your wife and you having trouble with that yesterday.
We were, yeah. She touched something, and I don't even know what happened, but everything was dark. I don't know. It's good talking to you, man. Thanks for having me.
You too, sir. You too. It's good to have you. I just want to do a real brief about myself real quick so you know where I'm coming from. I've lost 157 pounds. I've followed the keto diet for probably almost 4 years now. I didn't start this group until probably about a month ago. So we don't have a lot of subscribers yet, but we have a lot of good ones. We have a lot of great people.
Excellent.
I do have a YouTube channel because I gained some of that weight back. I had a health scare. I had my appendix rupture on me. I thought it was my gallbladder or something going bad. I listened to too many people, and my gallbladder ended up rupturing. So while I was on the rifle range for my job, I still qualified and everything, but then my captain was like, go to the doctor, just go. So I went. So happens I ended up in the ICU for a little while. And then, between that time and when that first pain got there, I gained some of the weight back.
Right.
So this past September, I had to go ahead and lose weight. So I went back on. This time I decided to document it. And now I've already lost that weight that I gained.
Nice.
And now I'm doing it the same way, and I'm showing everybody. And that I just wanted to start this page because there was a lot of misinformation out there, and there's a lot of ideas flowing around. And I've watched your videos, and the first time I watched your video, you were doing it was like around Christmas time, and you gave this such a sarcastic video. And I was like, I didn't know how to take it. I didn't know if it was. I said, is this guy for real? Because he's like, hey, the new ratings just came out. Don't follow the keto diet. And I was just like, okay, this has got to be sarcasm.
Yep.
You probably remember, but because you liked it and everything. But so I was just like, and then I just thought about, it is sarcasm. I'm an idiot. So I've been a faithful follower ever since. I even bought your book.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And even before you agreed to come on, because I with that Lazy Keto with Jess, who I've become really good friends with, she got me interested in you because I started watching you on her Facebook, and you give such great information. And I've looked at everything that you are your views are, your values are, everything about you, and I feel very connected to that. And I like everything. Now, I don't agree on everything, but I don't think anybody does.
No.
So there are a few things I want to talk to you about that I've been really stressing lately for my group.
Absolutely. First, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You said you were keto for a while. Then you kind of fell off. You had the gallbladder thing. You got busy. Did you gain back all the weight you lost?
Not all of it.
Yeah.
Probably. I had originally lost about 120, and I gained back probably about 60 to 70.
Yeah. I want everybody to listen to that. Okay. I've been a family practice doctor for over 13 years, and I've seen way over 20,000 patients in that time. And I've seen a ton of people lose weight on diets, right? Weight Watcher diet, the whatever Slim Fast diet. But what the difference with the ketogenic diet, one of the many differences is with all those diets, you guys saw Oprah on TV. She lost 100 pounds. Then what happened?
Right.
She gained it all back. Plus 5 more, right? That's the story on every other diet. But I keep hearing what Steve just said over and over. I'll have somebody 2 years ago, I told them about keto, and they did it. They lost 100 pounds. And they'll come back to the office and be like, well, I kind of fell off the wagon. We had Christmas, and then I just kind of did whatever. And I gained back a bunch of weight. I'm like, wait a minute, you lost 100. How much have you gained back? 22 pounds.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, once you go keto and you truly get the concepts, I don't know if it's that you just can't ever go back to complete ignorance, which is what the standard American diet is, or if your gut bacteria somehow changes and you just don't gain the weight back. But I've yet to see somebody who went real true keto, lost a bunch of weight, and then gained it all back. I've yet to meet that person. And I think that's
Right.
pretty darn powerful.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had originally started from about 370 pounds. So I was up there. And now, like, I see people now and they're just like, oh, you're still losing weight? Like, some people didn't even notice I even had gained the weight back.
Mm-hmm.
They just, because I had gone night shift for a while and that screwed me up and everything else. So, but let me get on to what I wanted to ask you.
Sure.
I have all the people trying to understand the macros, and that's where we differ a little bit, but that's fine. You're allowed. And then, there's the carbs, the proteins, and the fats. But there's another one that I want to treat kind of like a macro, and that would be salt. And I notice a lot of people aren't getting salt, and I saw how your views are on salt intake and how important it is and how different it is from what our medical people are telling us. So if you could talk about your views on that for them.
Yeah, so salt is basically necessary for human life. Okay, every doctor you've ever seen in your life said cut back on the salt. But if you had literally listened to that doctor and literally cut your salt back to near zero, you would have gotten sick. You would have had no energy, would have had chronic fatigue. You would have died sooner than you would have if you hadn't listened to that doctor. There's a great book out now called The Salt Fix. It's by Dr. D. Nicolantonio. I think I said that right. Great book. Everybody, if you're worried about salt or if your doctor's worried about salt, buy him a copy of that book for his birthday or for Christmas, okay? The entire last 50 years of low salt, low sodium has all been stupid, okay? Basically, when you look at the research and crunch the numbers in a huge meta-analysis, the people that eat the most salt live the longest. It's just like people with the highest cholesterol live longer and have less dementia. But wait a minute. But wait a minute. Well, what? But wait a minute. What? You're telling me all these doctors are stupid? No, they're just believing what the American Heart Association told them because doctors are busy. They don't have time to do the reading that they should be doing, but they don't do. They blindly trust the experts, and the experts have been wrong all this time, okay? And the Dr. D's book, The Salt Fix, breaks it down. Like, if you want the research and you want the black and white numbers, you need to get the Salt Fix, and you'll never worry about salt again. So my answer for almost every single question on the ketogenic diet, if you're having any problem whatsoever, number one, eat more fat. Number two, eat more salt. That literally is the answer to almost every single problem that you can possibly have on the ketogenic diet. 90% of problems, those two things answer that, but one or the other. You need more salt or you need more fat, one of the two. And so, yeah, I'm very pro-salt, and I defy anybody to show me research that proves definitively that you should eat under whatever amount of salt a day. Because if you turn humans loose and just let them eat whatever amount they want, they'll eat anywhere from 3 to 6 grams a day, 3,000 to 6,000 milligrams a day of salt. That's what the average human likes. Guess what? That's the optimal level of salt intake for all your biochemical processes to run efficiently, right? When you put a bunch of cows out in the pasture, what do you put out there for them to lick? A protein block? No. A big salt block. A block of salt, which is minerals, and they lick that salt. They freaking love that. But the farmer knows that if he puts a protein block out there, first of all, they won't lick it. Secondly, it's not going to increase his productivity as a farmer. But when you give cows a salt block to lick, they're healthier, they grow faster, they're more disease-free. Everything's better when they have enough salt. Humans are the same way.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. I've actually been telling people about, like, I've watched something on where Dr. Finney was talking to a bunch of a room full of doctors, and he was explaining the New England Journal of Medicine research that was out there, and he was saying how it hadn't been debunked yet. It's actually gaining strength with what they're saying, and the fact that the more salt you actually take, the better off you're actually going to be.
Absolutely.
It's not less salt.
Even people with advanced stages of heart failure, it looks like they do better on more salt, literally. And there's a new study I was just reading the other day. I think Dr. D, I think it's in his book as well. And it's like, whoa, if anybody should limit their salt intake, it's somebody with heart failure, right? Actually, probably not. Yeah, probably not at all. There's the entire salt fiasco has just been 50 years of ignorance wrapped up in foolishness. That's what it's been. And I'm sorry about that so many doctors jumped blindly on that train and said, oh, don't eat salt. I don't know. I don't have an excuse. All I can do is apologize for the 3 or 4 years that I told patients that, because I used to tell patients that early in my career. I didn't know better. But I apologize for that, and I hope that I didn't cost anyone their life by giving that ignorant advice.
And that brings up the book. The book, I'm actually giving it away as part of a free gift for this month for some of my viewers. And Dr. Berry's book is Lies My Doctor Told Me. And I talked about it the other day when I told everybody what the book, one of the prizes was going to be, and that was going to be your book. And I've read a few, like more than a few chapters now. I'm probably about 6 or 7 into it, I think. And the other one I wanted to get into was calories and how you address calories.
Sure. I don't know if you guys have found my YouTube channel yet, but I got a ton of videos there, and one of them is titled Counting Calories is Stupid. Okay. And the reason I was that blunt about it is, first of all, I'm a blunt guy. I'm just going to tell you like it is. And if you don't like it, go find another channel. I don't know. But I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to beat around the bush with you. And here's the thing. When you look at huge research studies like the Women's Health Initiative study, okay, humongous research studies with tens of thousands of people that followed these people over almost a decade, it shows without a doubt calorie restriction is not a method that results in long-term weight loss. So therefore, what are we counting calories for? So, yeah, I tell people if you're going to download an app to count macros, which I'm not opposed to counting macros, I think that has some utility. But if it even mentions the word calorie, don't even download it, because the entire paradigm of that app is off. Because they're going to try to tell you a calorie number, and then even though you're going to try to ignore that number, you're still going to look at that number, and it's going to slant, and it's going to shade how you look at things. If it says the word calorie, don't even download the app. And so all you app makers out there, if your keto app says anything about calories, I'll never recommend it. So you probably ought to get rid of that part. Okay.
Right. And that's what I tell people. They always ask me, well, what app do you use? What app do you use? I say, it's called a notebook. I've always used a logbook, a piece of pen and a paper, and I don't get stressed out over this. I'm not counting every little thing, and I know what I eat now pretty much, but when I started, it was a piece of paper and a pen.
Absolutely, and I think that's a fine place to start. Now, if somebody's coming from absolutely transitioning from the standard American diet, which I call the stupid American diet, to keto.
Called the SAD diet.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't think SAD stands for standard. I think it stands for stupid. It's a stupid American diet. But here's the thing. If you're coming in, basically you don't know anything about nutrition if you're coming from there, right, Steve? And so maybe you should download one of the apps, and maybe you should use it for a few weeks to kind of get the hang of it, because you don't even really know what macros are in food. I have people that say, now, what is macro? Is that a vitamin? They honestly don't know. And so that's our job in these groups, is to educate the newcomers, because when you educate the newcomers, they're going to have the same success as you. But if you make fun of the newcomers, then they're just going to go and try some other diets. And then you just lost somebody whose life you could have literally have changed. And so I try to tell people, don't be keto bullies and keto police. Help people, lead by example. And I think that's what Steve's doing. And that's why I really like this group. But yeah, calories are meaningless. When I was in biochemistry in medical school, we learned all about the Krebs cycle and the Kris cycle and gluconeogenesis and glycolysis. Nowhere in any of those biochemical pathways, right? And oh my God, you can't even imagine how complex and how complicated it is. And I don't even think we still understand it yet. I think we just are basically bumping around in the dark when it comes to some of the things that occur in the human body. The word calorie doesn't appear in any of those charts, okay? Because the human body doesn't know what a calorie is. So when somebody says, well, 100 calories of bacon is the same thing as 100 calories of Coke, that's ignorant, right? You can stop listening at that point, okay? Now, Coca-Cola Corporation, guess what they're going to tell you? A calorie is a calorie. It doesn't matter if you get it from broccoli or Coke. It's still, they all count. That's ignorant, okay? And they're not being ignorant. They're being misleading because they know better, because they know the studies, right? But they're trying to trick you into thinking, well, I can have a Coke as long as I cut back on the broccoli. Huh? No, 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 no. Calories don't count. Counting calories is stupid, okay? Get that through your head. And I know for a lot of people who have done all these diets are like, oh, my God, I can't believe you just said that. What? You have to count calories because you have to burn more calories than you ingest. That's how you lose weight. No, no, that has nothing to do with meaningful long-term weight loss. And it'll take you a minute. If what I just said was offensive to you, you're like, what the hell? This guy said I don't have to count calories? He's nuts. Just take a breath and relax and keep learning. And as you learn and you go through keto, you'll come to see what I'm talking about. Calories are meaningless. Your body doesn't know what a calorie is. Your body doesn't count calories, and neither should you.
That's perfect. That's exactly what I've been stressing. Everybody's been telling me, oh, I can't eat this much because then I'll go over my caloric. And I'm like, first, why are you still counting calories? You just listen to your body. Just feel what your body's telling you. If your body says, I'm hungry, go for something that's fattier. Go for something that's more keto. Because right now, your body, if you're still hungry on this diet, you're probably still craving carbs. And really, you're looking for a carb. And I tell them, just go get something with fat. Don't worry about the calories on it. You're going to fix your calories overall, and you're going to get there. I have another touchy subject I wanted to talk with you about.
All right. I like touchy subjects.
Yeah. It's touchy, not for you and I, because we agree on this. It's about these carpetbaggers, okay? That's what I call them.
Yep.
Opportunists.
That's a great word, yeah.
I can't stand them. Yep. I got caught up in it, so I know for a fact. And I got caught up in their morning.
What did you get tricked into buying? What did you get tricked into buying?
Prove it.
Yeah.
Oh, that OS, Keto OS.
Yep.
So, and I got only for 1 month, and I got into their board meetings, like their morning call-ups, and I started questioning it, and I started bringing up questions, and nobody could hear me, and I was just like, well, I'm not just going to listen to these people talk about it. Kim Koch is asking what a carpetbagger is. A carpetbagger is a person that took an opportunity to go sell. After the Civil War, they went down the Civil War, and they just started, just overpricing stuff on the South when the South was all destroyed.
Right.
So what I'm saying is I'm basically comparing these keto, fake keto diet or products, these fake keto exogenous ketones to those, because they don't work. They're just jumping in the opportunity of taking advantage of somebody that's desperate and trying to lose weight.
Yes.
And I just wanted to get your opinion on this. I know it's a touchy subject with a lot of people.
Yeah, and so maybe I'll offend somebody here. I hope so, because anytime you're offended, your window of learning opportunity opens, and so maybe somebody will learn something. So exogenous ketones are a waste of money, period. The end.
Totally.
Okay, now let me tell you why. Okay, let me explain this, and then I think you can use this analogy, and everybody will understand this analogy, and then you'll never fall for this kind of crap again. First of all, the ketogenic diet is the most natural, ancestrally correct diet that human beings have ever eaten. If you went back in time 30,000 years, what do you think they ate? Standard American diet? American Heart Association diet? They ate keto, dude. They ate keto, and in the fall, when the fruit was ripe, they ate paleo, right? But for 9 months out of the year, they ate keto, and they were happy about it because it was either eat keto or fast. And when you fast and it ain't on purpose, it's called starving, right? But so they were either eating keto or starving. We'll call it fasting to make it sound better. But so to even imply that you need a product or you need something to help with this diet it's just ignorant on its face. And so all these people that are selling collagen powder, protein powder, exogenous ketones, you've got to have this multivitamin if you're on keto, all that's crap. You don't need any of that. The human species, your grandparents, their grandparents, their grandparents, their grandparents, all reproduced successfully on a ketogenic diet. Now, the ketogenic diet, if it caused deficiencies and you needed this and that and the other, how did they get by 30,000 years ago? How were they so vigorous they were able to reproduce and wind up producing you ultimately? Does that make sense? That's number one. Now, number two, let me tell you what I can do in my office. If a young lady came into my office and said, I really want to get pregnant. I've been trying for years and I can't get pregnant. And I said, here, I'm going to give you this shot in the arm. okay? And I want you to wait an hour, and I want you to go in the bathroom and pee on your pregnancy stick. And she's like, okay. So I give her the shot. She waits an hour. She goes into the bathroom, and she comes out screaming and jumping up and down. I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. Thank you so much. Okay? I gave her a shot of HCG an hour before, which is what the pregnancy stick looks for.
Right.
So is she really pregnant? No, she's not pregnant, right? And so when you take exogenous ketones and then you pee on that stick, yeah, you're peeing out ketones, but peeing out ketones is not ketosis, okay? If a woman is dehydrated and when she's pregnant, she'll pee out ketones. Is she in ketosis? No, she's dehydrated, okay? Has nothing to do with ketosis. Ketosis is when your liver is making ketone bodies. That's what ketosis is, when your liver is making ketone bodies. Yeah, you can take exogenous ketones and you can check your serum. There'll be ketones in there, right? Just like if I checked that lady's blood, she would have been pregnant. It would have been HCG positive in her blood because I gave her a shot of HCG, not because she's really, really pregnant. So when you pee on that stick and it turns dark purple, yeah, the exogenous ketones did that. But that doesn't mean you're in the physiological state of ketosis. It just means you're peeing out what you drank. Does that make sense?
Amen.
That's okay. So that's and so once you understand that, you're like, oh, so peeing out ketones doesn't mean squat. That doesn't mean anything. And that's why I don't really recommend even checking your ketones really, because if you check your ketones, for it to be accurate, you have to drink the same exact amount of water every day. If you don't do that, because my wife, Nisha, is a labor and delivery nurse, and the first thing they check when a woman comes in is a urine to see if she's got ketones in her urine. Why do they check that? To see if she's doing the ketogenic diet? Hell no. They do that to see if she's dehydrated, because ketones tell you also about your hydration status. And so if you can take something in PI ketones, and if you can just get dehydrated in your PI ketones, then ketones in the urine really aren't that great of a standard of measurement for anything. Does that make sense?
It's all absolute sense to me.
Okay. All right. Good deal.
I've been battling this out, and I've even battled it out with Dr. Dom from Prove It.
Yeah. And let me tell you, Dr. Dom, his research is valid. He's an intelligent guy, but they're misapplying his research. Okay. And I don't know if he's party to that or not. I don't know if they've got him locked into some kind of contract where he really can't kick up a fuss, but I respect Dr. Dom greatly. He's a brilliant researcher.
Yeah. And he's admitted to us that it's not for weight loss.
That's exactly right.
Actually, it possibly can have the reverse effect.
That's exactly right.
My buddy, who's the fat adapted athlete, he and I have been going against these people for years now.
Good.
And like we saved that tweet, and it's amazing. It's an amazing tweet.
Awesome.
It's very powerful evidence that we use.
Yes.
It's basically him admitting that this isn't what all these people that are getting paid so much extra money to sell this stuff. Like I honestly think if they weren't offering all these people this extra money, exogenous ketones really would.
And see, I think that's another way. I think that's just being a different form of keto bully, because you're taking advantage of a newcomer, somebody who doesn't know, who's innocent, who's uneducated. They don't know. They're trusting you because you're like, oh, I prove it. OS, I know everything about ketosis, and you're selling a bunch of crap, and they believe you, and they put their faith and put their money in that. And they expend their effort instead of learning how to eat keto. They're learning how to use your product that's not going to work anyway. Then 6 months later, they're like, well, that keto diet, it didn't work. That's stupid.
Right.
And they haven't even they've never done the diet. And so those kind of people really trigger me. And I don't really run into them on social media much because I think they know my opinion. And I think they know they'd lose if they wanted to exchange words with me. So I don't really get a lot of feedback from those people. They tend to kind of sneak off and get in a corner and hide when I'm around because it's ridiculous. The science is not there. It doesn't work. It's a gimmick. Okay. It's people taking advantage of a movement. And in America, that's what we do. We take advantage of opportunities. So I don't fault them. I don't fault them for that. I mean, that's the American way, but don't take advantage of people who are temporarily ignorant just because they're newcomers to something that could literally change their life. Right. The ketogenic diet can save a type 2 diabetic's life, literally. But you're going to sell them. You're going to sell them some stupid prove it crap and completely take the focus away from what it should be on, and have them focusing on drinking this drink 3 times a day. What the hell, dude? Come on.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
No. Sorry.
Something else I wanted to ask you. I'm getting a lot of questions both today, just now, and throughout a lot of time on my group. And I try to answer it on a one-to-one basis because it's kind of hard. And I don't know that you could actually specifically answer this for everybody.
Okay.
But people are having a hard time getting all their fats in without doing a lot of the bulletproof coffees, without drinking the oils, without drinking, doing a lot of the butters and stuff, but trying to get like the animal fats. So they're getting in too much protein, as opposed to trying to get the higher fat.
Yeah.
So do you have any advice on that?
So that's another reason that I don't have people count macros, because I really, truly, the more I go through this and learn and watch people and help people, the more I really believe that the main goal of using the fat is a hack. Okay. You're hacking your system is what you're doing, because here's what we want. We want our insulin level to stay really low, right? Because that's how you burn the fat that's on your butt and on your booty and on your belly. And if you have fat in your liver and your pancreas, you really want to get rid of that fat. What is fat? Fat's stored energy. That's what it is. That's why your body puts it there, is for hard times and famine and for the winter. But here's the thing. We don't have winter anymore, right? There's a 7-Eleven on every corner. Grandma's always got dinner ready. There is no such thing as a famine in the Western world anymore. It's no such thing as that. Now, there may one day be again, but currently there's unlimited food. And so we don't need to store this energy. Insulin is the hormone that tells your body to store energy in the form of fat. That's what insulin does, okay? That's one of its many jobs. It does other things too. And so what we're trying to do is keep our insulin level very low so that we don't store fat. We actually burn the fat that's on our booty, because that's how you lose weight, right? The second thing we're trying to do with fat is we're trying to optimize our hunger hormones, because nobody wants to be hungry. And the beautiful thing about the ketogenic diet is it hacks that system so well that people have to set their phone to alarm at them to eat, because they forget to eat, because you literally are not hungry. And you do that by optimizing 2 hormones, leptin and ghrelin, right? And when you get those 2 hormones right where they need to be, you turn off your hunger. You're not hungry. And so I think the fat is a tool. And so I don't think like I said earlier, you can download a macro counter and count your macros for a week or 2 or 3. Download an app. But I don't think you should do that long term, because ultimately what you're doing is using the fat as a tool, right? So the bulletproof coffee, there's nothing magic about the fat. So if you put a whole stick of Kerrygold butter in there, it's not going to work any better than if you just put a teaspoon. What you need to do is put enough fat in your coffee that you tweak your hunger hormones, and that's going to keep your insulin low, right? So you're not hungry and you're burning the fat on your butt. Because I could lock you in my barn for 6 months and feed you nothing. Guess what? You'd burn the fat on your butt, but you'd be miserable, and you would have no energy, and you'd be cold. You could, even in the sunlight, you'd be asking for a sweater. All this is proven. There are huge studies, right? In Minnesota, they did starvation studies on men. And that's what you wind up being. You lose weight. Oh, hell yeah. But you're miserable. And I'd have to keep you locked in the barn to make you lose weight by restricting your calories like that. But if I say, hey, sip on this fatty coffee all day, you're not hungry. That's kind of pleasant, isn't it, Steve? You know, that's one of the beautiful things about this. You're not hungry. Like I came home today at 4 o'clock. That's when I broke my fast today. I'd been sipping on Bulletproof with maybe a teaspoon of Kerrygold butter per cup. I probably had 4 cups today. I came home and I broke my fast with a ribeye, okay? A fatty ribeye, and I ate all the gristle because that's collagen, so I don't take a collagen supplement, right? And I ate all the fat because that's my fat. I need that fat. I'm not going to ever throw the gristle away. Eat the gristle, people. Eat the cartilage. Eat the fat. That's the stuff you want. Otherwise, you'll have to take a collagen supplement. What? You're throwing collagen away and taking a collagen supplement. What are you doing? Come on. So my point is, I wasn't hungry all day. I was busy seeing patients. Boom, 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 boom. Patient after patient all day. My mental clarity was on. I was on today. I felt great. And I hadn't eaten anything since 8 p.m. last night. You see that? And so from 8 p.m. last night until 4 p.m. today, my insulin level was bumping the bottom. And it's not dangerous. It's just low normal, right? And so my body, when I ran out of the glycogen that was stored in my liver and stored in my muscles, what did my body have left to burn? It had no choice. It's got to start burning the fat. That's what it has to do. And so hitting a magic fat number, I don't really think is that big a deal. Now, maybe for the first few weeks to really help your body get fat adapted, you should really try to hit your fat macro. But after that, if you're not hungry and the weight's coming off, I don't care about macros. Okay. I just tell my patients in the office and people online, eat super high fat, super low carb, and let the protein kind of take care of itself. And for 90% of people, that's it. That's all the advice they need. They don't need any products. They don't need to count anything. They just go do that, and the weight slowly but surely comes off while they feel great and not hungry.
That's exactly what I tell them. I tell them, keep your fats up until you get fat adapted. And at that point, don't bring the fat down just to lose weight. Let your body naturally progress into that mode. That's perfect advice. That was great advice.
Yep, absolutely.
One other thing I want to talk to you about, and then and I just want to mention all these people that are asking questions. Don't worry, I'm going to answer all your questions. I'm not going to let all these questions just go unanswered. I'm going to come back and
I'm going to try to come back and answer a few too, Steve, if that's okay.
Appreciate that. Yeah, and because Dr. Berry doesn't have all night with us. I wish he would, but he has a limited time. So I just want to get this one last question in on him, and it's about water intake. I had somebody the other day that my dog's here, and they drank so much water, and they said they were drinking about a little more than half their weight in ounces in water, and they were doing all this, and that was because that's what they were told. And I said, I think that your body's going to tell you when you're thirsty. Okay, you don't need some magic number to tell you when you're thirsty. Mm-hmm. If you need to drink some water, you drink some water. If you don't, then don't. Exactly. But I also do tell them that if you're peeing clear, you're drinking too much water. Okay, all it's doing is you're just drinking it to drink it. I don't know what you're doing. But there is no amount of water that you need, I don't think. Now, you could steer me wrong.
It's a great question.
You need to lose weight.
No.
It's not like this requirement. You need to say, well, you need all this water because that's what's going to help you lose weight. And I think my body's going to tell me when I'm thirsty. So I think that if I'm peeing just a little bit like lemonade, that's where I look for me. And I'm not sitting there carrying a water bottle around all the time or drinking. And then I tell people, listen, if you're drinking bulletproof coffee, that's fluid. If you're drinking tea, that's fluid. If all your food you're eating, that has water in it too.
Yes.
There's water that you're missing that you don't think you're drinking or consuming. And you could just probably elaborate better than I can since.
Yes. So when you get to the chapter called Little White Lies, Steve, you'll see in there one of the little white lies is that you should drink 8 glasses of water a day. Where that initially came from was back in the 30s or 40s. It was way before the FDA and the USDA. It was some little panel the federal government had convened, and they wanted to study and see how much water the average person ingested a day. And so they found that on average, counting the water in coffee, tea, and food, the average person consumed about 8 glasses of water a day. They didn't recommend you should drink 8 glasses of water a day. That's not what it said. It said the average person takes in about 8 glasses of water a day, counting the water in food, coffee, tea, beer, whatever. That's every source of intake. We take in about 8 glasses of water a day. Okay. So, but then somehow that got warped around as a recommendation. Oh, you should drink 8 glasses of clear water a day. There's no research, zero research that shows that that's meaningful in any way for human beings. Okay. So now you have all these diet gurus who say, oh, you need to drink an ounce of water per pound per day. No, all that's busy work. It's just like counting calories. It shifts your focus from what's really important, which is eating a ketogenic diet. Now you're trying to just force yourself to drink all this damn water, and it's meaningless. I've heard gurus say, oh, it'll flush the fat out of your system. That's ignorant, okay? That's not how it works at all. Okay, now let's talk. Let's look at it another way. Everybody listening to this video right now, how many times did you breathe the last minute? How many times did you think? Were you thinking about breathing? You weren't. You were breathing from 15 to 18 times a minute, and you didn't even think about it. Okay, your body is hardwired to breathe. I don't care if you're singing, swimming, whatever you're doing. When it's time to breathe, you're going to breathe. You got no choice. Okay, that's how people drown, because after a certain point, your body's like, I don't care. You got to breathe. You breathe in water, you die because you're underwater, right? It's hardwired. You don't have a choice. And so now, if you wanted to, you could sit there and breathe 80 times a minute. You could do that. That'd be dumb, but you could do that. And there are actually gurus around the world who say, oh, you should breathe this certain way, or you should breathe so many times a minute. All that's dumb. There's zero research that proves that does anything except waste your time. Same way with drinking water. If you drink 15 gallons of water a day, all you're going to do is stress your kidneys. You're not going to lose an extra ounce of weight. It's never going to happen. There's no research behind what the gurus tell you about drinking the water. And you listen, Steve, a lot of people, that offends them. They're like, no, bull crap. I know for a fact you're supposed to drink blah, 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 because their mama told them that when they were 2 years old. Right? And that makes it true. And I understand. I got respect for your mama, but I'm just telling you about this one thing. She was wrong. There is no minimum amount of water you should drink a day. Your body is hardwired. It will tell you when you should drink. Right. Okay. If you're thirsty, and most people in America have never experienced true hunger or true thirst. They don't even know what it feels like. Right. Okay. But when you get thirsty, you will drink. You'll drink mud puddle water if you get thirsty enough, and you'll love it. Okay. And so you can ask any prisoner of war or any soldier who's been stranded behind the enemy lines for weeks. You'll drink mud water right out of the rut. You won't care. You won't even blink an eye, because when you get truly thirsty, you're going to drink, my brother. You got no choice. Okay. And so it's just like salt. If you literally try to give somebody no salt, they'll gnaw your arm off trying to get the salt out of your bloodstream after some point, because it is physiologically hardwired that you have to have about 3,000 milligrams a day to feel normal. And so after a certain point, you'll start literally gnawing the ice off the inside of the freezer trying to find some salt. You'll do. People, there's case reports of people doing this stuff. It's called pica, where if you're deficient in some mineral, at some point you'll literally start eating dirt, because you don't know. You just know you need something, but you don't know what it is. Sometimes pregnant women do this when they have a deficiency. But my point is, no, you don't have to drink any certain amount of water at all. The water in your coffee counts. The water in your tea counts. The water in your beer counts. But don't forget, so do the calories, right? Even though we're not counting calories, okay? But you any fluid, the water in the steak that I ate, that counts towards, my body's using that water right now. My body doesn't care how the water comes in. It just needs about 6 to 8 glasses of water a day total from all sources.
Exactly. That's just everything you said tonight is just spot on. It's everything my group needed to hear. It's what most people, that even newbies, regular people, people that have been doing this for a long time. And I appreciate everything you've done tonight, and I hope that you will come back more.
Absolutely.
More, again.
Yeah. I'd be honored to.
Always open to.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell everybody listening and everybody who watches this on the replay, Steve's doing this because he believes in this. Okay, he's not a carpetbagger. I can tell you right now, he's not trying to make money off you or fleece you. I need you to pay him back by inviting friends who need to be in this group to join this group right now. What does the button say? Invite or ask to join or something. But you can invite your friends. Yeah, you can invite your friends to join this group, and after they get into this way of eating, they'll thank you for that, okay? But help grow this group, because Steve's doing good work here, and I think he's right on track with just about everything he says. And we may not agree on everything, but we agree on all the major stuff. We might not agree on the micros, but we agree on the macros, right? Exactly. That's right. Exactly right. Okay, Steve. Yeah. Pleasure talking to you, my friend. I'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Dr. Berry.
Yes, sir.
See you soon. All right. Bye. All right, guys. That was pretty awesome. there was a couple questions like about the exogenous ketones that I saw people asking, and they were like, well, how can you work with Jessica Mosnes from Lazy Keto Jess when she promotes Prove It and she promotes it? It's because people can, we can have our differences, but we still can get along. We can still see, because our overall goal is to help you guys. Okay. Now she honestly believes that those exogenous ketones are helping her. And she knows my opinion. I've expressed it to her privately. I've told her, just exactly what he says. Because you guys know me. I'm a no-nonsense type of guy. I'm pretty straightforward. I say it the way I feel it, and that's it. Okay? I say, hey, this is what I think. Okay? And she's heard me. She's listened. She goes, I hear you, but this is what I feel. This is what I do. Okay, but she doesn't allow that selling to be on her site. Okay, she has a line, and I have that same line. I don't like that. You guys know I don't want people selling anything on my site, except for advice, except for good, great information, and I want to keep you guys well informed. That was one of my ways of keeping you guys well informed. That guy, he knows his stuff. Dr. Barry is on key. He's a doctor. He's treating patients. He's living the life of helping people every day. I wish I could have done something in that aspect where I'm helping that many people. It's just great. But I'm helping you guys, and that makes me happy. It makes me, this fulfills me right here, knowing that you guys are learning. I'm helping you guys to lose weight. He talked about how keeping your fats high until you get fat adapted. Just what I've been telling people. Get your fats up there. Get them up. And then when you get fat adapted, then you just start to bring them down naturally. Just check. I've tried to focus on that stuff. I like the idea of the salts and everything else. So basically what I'm saying is people can disagree, but they can still get along because we all have the same goal. Okay, we all have the same goal to help you guys, and that's just what I'm about. I'm trying to help as many people, so that's why Jessica and I can get along. I think the only thing we disagree on is probably those exogenous ketones, and that's not a big deal to me that she sells it. It's her prerogative. She has her reasons, and like I said, she knows mine, and we're good. We don't even bring it up to each other. Like, we don't even talk about it because it's not that big of an issue between us. Okay, so I know you guys had questions and concerns about that, but I'm going to try to get him on again. Maybe not next week, but maybe I could a week after that. Because next week, like I said, I'm going to try to get. I have a confirmation of Dr. Eric Westman. Now, if you know who Dr. Eric Westman is, he is the keto guru. He is the man that literally brought the ketogenic diet to life. Okay, so he's the author of the new Atkins book. Okay, where they changed the Atkins diet from the high protein to the high fat. He's given so many seminars. He's given so much great advice. He's created this monster right here. Okay, and this monster has been helping you because I listened to him. Okay, and what I regurgitate and what I learn and what I know is all because of that guy. Okay, now I'm going to get him on here. It might be a once in a lifetime kind of thing because he is a very busy. He's very, very busy man, and I can't believe he actually told me yes, which amazes me. That's just awesome. He doesn't usually do that. I don't see him on many video things at all. What kind of doctor is Dr. Barry? He's a family physician. So yeah, and I love Jessica Mosnes. She's awesome. She helped me to get Dr. Barry for you guys. So I'm indebted to her. Like, if it wasn't for her talking to him all the time, I wouldn't have had the idea to just email him. So I appreciate everybody coming tonight. watching the video. I hope everybody watches the replays, gets their friends signed up, just like I was saying. Sign up your friends to this group where I'm trying to keep it a very positive, very informative group, and I'm trying to get people to reach their goals, success in their journey. And when you get success, then you somehow feel the need to pay that forward, like I'm doing. Okay, it's just like your heart opens up and you're just like, I got to help people do this, because this is a diet I've been looking for my whole life. I've got to tell everybody, and you're going to feel that way once it starts really kicking for you and you start saying, oh my God, look at all this weight. And just like that wall of fame I just put up on our wallpaper, if you haven't seen it, it's at the front of our page. It lists everybody that mentioned that they lost weight, and I just put it up there as Gonzo's Wall of Fame, and I believe in that. You guys are the reason I'm here. Okay, you guys are why I keep coming in and helping you and trying to learn more. Like, I'm going to that seminar next week, and I'm going to regurgitate everything I learned there for you guys. Okay, all right. I want to thank everybody tonight. And I'm thanking you again, and I'm going to thank you, and I'm going to thank you every day. And I got to go. It's getting late. It's getting late. Thanks, guys. I appreciate everybody here. Matt Walker, appreciate you, brother. I appreciate everybody that asked questions. I'm going to get back to these questions. I'm going to try my best to answer all of them. Like Dr. Berry said, he's also part of our group. He's going to try and answer some of your questions too. So I'm not going to step on his toes there either. So. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Stay keto. Keto on, just like the shirt says. Always a different shirt for everybody. Always a different shirt. You gotta love it. All right. See you guys. Bye.